Oh, okay. So in the chapter that I've been reading in this book, though I actually haven't finished reading the chapter itself, I what I did read though is an interesting factor of imagining music, like not actually hearing it with your ears, but imagining it, like imagining how it would play, and even if it stops midway, you would imagine it will. You can imagine it will keep on playing, so and you won't play next to it. But just to start this off, um, I think most people would know who Mozart is, or at least have heard of the name Mozart. That he who was a music prodigy, and an actually interesting thing is that he actually started to turn deaf, but even when he was deaf, he still composed music, but more much better than his previous composers when he wasn't deaf. As Dr. Sachs describes it in his book, it's like his even though his auditory input was not was cut out, his auditory exposition was like okay, how should I put it? It increased. It basically was amplified a lot. So because he imagined music, and that's a topic I'm going to talk about today, and imagining music playing on. So just saying imagining music is actually not really an odd thing for most musicians, because when they try to practice, and so they would imagine music in their head so that they get the song right in their head before they actually start playing it. And well, sometimes some experimenters will. I mean, experiment was made for people who would hear music, even though it actually wasn't being played. Like they're playing some music, but then they suddenly tone down a little, or even bring a new zero. Some people said that they could still hear it, even though they can't really hear it at all, unless they listen extremely close to the speakers. And actually, interesting thing, some of the times they said they would play the music, and the music never played, yet some people still heard music, and it was just through their imaginations. Because imagining music is just some enigmatic thing that just so happens to be useful. In fact, one of Dr. Sachs' musical friends said that he put a piece of his favorite Mozart music on an old vinyl disc, and into that old player, you know, the one with the scratcher, and it turns around. So yeah, and while he was enjoying it, and then he decided to flip it to the other side so that he can listen to the other soundtrack, but apparently he realized he wasn't even playing it at all. And I didn't really read much beyond that, so.
So I have a question. So he listened. So you're talking about some people that can, even there is no music playing, they can hear music.
Because they're imagining the music that will be playing.
Okay.
That's what I said. It's imaginative music, not actual music.
So from Dr. Sachs' perspective, is that a disease or just like a skill? What is that?
It's not actual disease, but it's more like, well, skill.
It's more skill, like Mozart, you say, you know?
Yeah, and actually, I think some people would actually even have music playing in their minds sometimes.
Do you?
I mean, yeah, yeah, it does sometimes.
Sometimes to you, I think maybe to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That.
So what did you like the most in this chapter?
Mm, probably the fact about Mozart actually still being able to compose music despite him being deaf. And if you're deaf, you can't really hear music.
Yeah, even so you're deaf, you can, like Beethoven was deaf too? No?
I don't know if Beethoven was deaf, but yes, he still was able to compose.
So did you know that before you read it, or you?
No, I didn't. I actually had no idea Mozart even became deaf.
Okay.